A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video, but more on that later.
I never really thought 3 metal boxes dropped on top of a mountain could end up meaning so much to me, but here we are. These shipping containers were originally meant to be a shed and workshop space that I would use to build our future house. Winter came a little early, one thing led to another, and we decided to pivot and adapt to the reality of the situation in front of us. We've lived in smaller spaces than this, so in comparison to a boat in the Atlantic Ocean, this will always feel easy.
Oh my god! This like completely transforms it.
Right?
Wow! Wow! This is crazy amazing. It makes it actually feel like a living space.
Right.
Like before we were in a metal box.
Sun setting out there.
Yeah.
But looking back at all this 819 days later, I realize now that I was never actually meant to build a shed. The best way to learn how to build a house is to build a house. Once for practice, and once more after that to correct all of the mistakes I made on round 1. So in a sense, the initial intention for this space has been honored to the absolute fullest. It would be hard to fit more into 480 square feet. More life, more lessons, more development. The materials and design of this build have been tested in every sense of the word. We've studied different family models, undergone some mindset rewiring programs, looked into polarity, nutrient density, longevity, and exercise protocols, and combined all of that new learning into a new way of living. It's obviously still a work in progress, just like this build. We had no idea what it would actually be like to raise a child and a dog in this space, and so many of the design mistakes reflect that. But the beauty of building things yourself is that when it comes time to renovate, you know exactly where to begin.
Okay, I really thought the containers were done, that construction was done, and that we were moving on to building a house. But after thinking about it and having our house project kind of come to a grinding halt, we realized there are some changes that we could make to make living in this tiny space a lot more manageable. This is honestly mainly Lou's idea because he's gonna be the one who has to do the whole construction. Not has to, but wants to. Our construction man. And I'm here for a more comfortable container life. But it's gonna be short and sweet, but really fix a lot of the problems that we're having right now. Let me walk you through kind of what we've been thinking. We hadn't filmed a family vlog in the containers in a long time, and especially with the thought of them changing so much, we thought it'd be really fun to capture a day in the life in our shipping containers this winter, especially now that we've figured out some new routines that are making our family feel really good up here. So as you can see, it is early morning. Lou gets up at 4:50 now. This way he has time to meditate for 40 minutes. Then he does his hour workout outside in the cold. I know, it's insane. It's like negative degrees out when he wakes up, and somehow he still is picking up those freezing weights and getting his body moving and also getting sweaty, and doesn't have a shower because everything's frozen. But it's worked out really well because he gets some peace and quiet with the generator, of course, some peace and quiet time. And then Max and I wake up around 7. Usually, I mean, I really wake up when Max wakes up. I carry Max into the kitchen and then he gets some dad and Max time, which has been amazing. And then I pop back into the bedroom container while they get started on breakfast and hang out. And, some days breakfast happens, other days everything is moving slower. And it's just so nice for me I get an hour from like 7 to 8 to do my own 40-minute meditation, get dressed, just have like a little reset. We also use red lights. We've been using them for ages now, and it's been so nice for nighttime and morning to just not have blue light go like right into your eyes. So I start before I meditate and make a little fire. It's still pretty cold in the containers, we run the mini split at night because the wood-fired stove, while it's so beautiful and effective, it just gets the containers so hot because it's such a small space. So they don't really work for overnight for us that we found, but it's a really nice way to start the day. So now I get to enjoy a little me time, a little quiet time. And it's been so helpful to just center myself and really get in the headspace of who I want to be. Like, how do I want to be in my day? Who do I want to be in this life, really? Been having like a lot of big thoughts. And this time has helped me process them. I also love to put on some dancing music once I finish meditating. Some like very happy, corny, upbeat music, and dance around to just infuse a really positive energy into my morning. And something so special about a morning dance party after meditating. Just feel like you're bursting with the day's energy. So yeah, I feel like after Lou and I have each filled up our cup with our meditation and quiet time, then we get this special moment where we get to come back together as a family and share a meal. It's been really so nice after a few months away from the land to get to do all of our meals as a family again. And I can see, I know for myself how special it feels, but I can see for Max too how much he enjoys having both of us at his breakfast and that grounded routine of like, this is how we start our day. I've also been pickling like crazy because our fridge is freezing everything because it's outside when it's like not rated for freezing temperatures. And so all my veggies keep freezing. And because of that, I was like not eating any vegetables. And then, oh my gosh. Uh-oh. After breakfast, every day was really different for us. I feel like those first few hours are the same every day, but then from this point on, every day is very different. This morning, though, we decided to do some family chores and go get our eggs. It's been really, really, really cold lately. We've been really enjoying wearing balaclavas, and I feel like it's made such a difference. We didn't have all this gear last winter, and I don't know what I was doing, sleeping on the balaclava. The balaclava is so key to enjoying winter. So this is our hike or our roll down to the chicken coop. It's a bit far because we moved our chickens down the road, down our driveway, because we wanted to give them access to spring water, because trying to manage their water every day up by the containers was such a nightmare because everything was freezing and we don't have any access to running water. And it's just made life so much easier between the spring water running and the ability to feed them for 2 weeks straight with some big feeders that Lou got. It's just been so much more manageable. And now our only task is try to get those eggs before they freeze every day, which with the temps lately has been tricky. But because we have so many chickens, it's just been amazing how many eggs we're still getting in the winter, even with the slower down production. This summer, we might be getting like 3 dozen a day. So we'll have to figure out how to manage that. But right now it's turned out to be perfect. So one thing I'm so excited about that I've been working on the last few weeks, really honestly the last few years, but like consciously the last few weeks, is putting together a family cookbook. Max and I have so much fun in this container kitchen. Right now we're making some pork dumplings, and I don't know, I think that having him in the kitchen with me has really inspired me to look at food differently and look at it as how can it be infused with as much love and as much nutrients and as much fun, the whole process. So while Max and I are in the kitchen working on the cookbook, Lou usually does a lot of computer time in the afternoons. And so when he feels like the dog is going crazy and he needs a little bit of break from all the screens, he'll take her for a run. And Freya just loves it, as you can see. Freya definitely needs a lot of attention. One of the things that I'm so excited about this cookbook is that it's something that we're all making together, and it feels so special to get to be creative with Max and with Lou. It makes the dining experience so fun because, you know, I work on the recipe, then I make the recipe, and then we get this feedback of like, what would we change? And even Max is getting into it, and yeah, it's just been really rewarding. I love it in here. We do so much in this tiny kitchen. But biggest problem is that we do not have a table. So I, for our meals, sit right here. Lou sits on the floor and Max is in his high chair. I mean, it works. We've been doing it for years, but I think it would be so elevating to have a table experience. We tried actually to build a table. The only thing is, as you can tell, it cuts off the space entirely. It's really good if you've properly planned out every detail of the meal and everything is on here. But if you need to get up and get over here, that means you're going over this. You can't, which is hard if you already have food on the table. You also can't get into here, which has any cups and bowls. You know, I said you can't get into this drawer. So while this table is like, the idea of it was nice, we were really trying to do like, what can we do in this minimal space that still allows it? We honestly never use this. This is our problem area, I would say, when it comes to the kitchen. I'm gonna put my Crocs on because it's so wet from all the snow here. So this area, it takes up so much of the container from like here over, and it's honestly just not us effectively using the space. This, while I love it and it's beautiful, I actually think that this cuts the room off. And Lou was thinking, he had the idea, what if we took out this and we took this out? Because right now, behind here is just the toilet and it takes up so much more room. It's literally a bucket. So it's like, it doesn't need to have such a big space, especially because it's not private in here. There's no privacy. If I'm going to the bathroom, I usually just say, tell Lou to leave the room. And then also a lot of times we're in separate places because he's doing his thing and I'm here with Max, so it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't need to be such a big setup. One day, obviously, I would love a normal bathroom that has a door, but we've been living in vans and all sorts of different places that have had really minimal non-private bathroom situations. So by this point, I'm just kind of used to it. But we were thinking, if we took this out and we took this out, what if we made a really nice nook here, like a bench seating around a table, and then if it's possible, kind of like boat inspired, what if we could make a table that could lower and then you could have this be another bed? Like, so that the kitchen could also be a bedroom if need be. Sometimes nights are crazy with kids and it's nice if only one person has to be awake during that and the other person can actually get some sleep. At least that's what's worked really well for our family, is that Lou can sleep. And then, well, not really right now. Now he wears earplugs if we'll go into the bedroom situation another time, but it could be very nice to have a backup bedroom if we ever wanted it. And if guests come or different things like that, it's just, that would be really cool. So we're thinking, if we took this out, take this out and make a really cool kitchen table here with like bench seating all around, so you could actually like even have friends over for dinner. This deck is amazing. We live out here in the summer. Right now it is like 10 degrees out. I lied, it's 15 degrees out. So and it's also kind of, when it gets snowy like this, it gets it icy, and then it's a little bit of a slip and slide out here. We do have storage for firewood. We have our fridge out here, which has honestly worked out better than I thought for the winter months. This is our first winter with an outdoor fridge in freezing temperatures. When it gets really cold, which is a lot of the time, a lot of our food in the fridge freezes, but it's still so much more manageable. When we had Freya's crate in the kitchen, we had a chest fridge at first, and it's just so annoying. All your stuff gets crushed in there. So yeah, is it ideal to have all of your produce freeze? No, but space-wise, so much better out here. But Lou was thinking, let me show you, what if this whole thing was walled in? He put stuff here, he waterproofed it all, he was thinking even extending the roof. And then this space became completely waterproof, and that means that it would also be able to like walk through and not get your socks wet. It's like, honestly, I feel like I'm just like schlepping Max back and forth because I don't want to deal with having me put on shoes, him put on shoes. It's so slippery. I think it could be a huge upgrade. He's even thinking maybe even doing a deck and building in another, closing in the other 2 containers too. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm like here for it. I think he really wants it as a space to work out. Now, bedroom. The story of this bedroom. Let me take you through my day. Here is where I pee if I need to pee in the middle of the night. Our son, who's almost 3 years old, and I sleep up here. And the loft has worked out really great. Lou made this awesome door here. Slides. We feel super secure up there. And it's awesome. But at the same time, it's like kind of a lot to live up ladder steps with a toddler. And this situation is really the problem. If it was just me and Max, we'd be good up here, but Lou sleeps here on the floor. This is Lou's bed. So when I wake up, I climb down here and then I pull in Lou's bed. It's also really cold on the floor, and we have this door cover that kind of blocks the air that comes in from this door. This door is just like not so weather tight. Okay, so then I pull this bed into here. So that's the current bedroom situation. Lou's been sleeping on the floor, not ideal, and Max and I sleep up there. We built it this way thinking that we would co-sleep as a family up there, and then this little cubby would be for our dog. Turns out that's not how things worked out. When we designed this space, we thought we were still really new parents when we started building the container. And we thought that this huge king bed would work out great for the 3 of us sleeping in there, co-sleeping as a family, and then that little nook would be where our German Shepherd Freya sleeps. We'd be one big happy family, it would be super cozy, and we would get so much storage underneath the bed. And the storage is incredible. We are like, can store all of our clothes there, even all seasons, like it all fits, and then like that part is so helpful. But didn't work out with Freya. She's like such a crate, she was when we first moved up here, such a crate dog that she, like we tried to have her sleep in here and it was just like so chaotic. She was like spinning, and I don't know. If you have a working line German Shepherd, maybe you would understand like the energy and the drive of that kind of creature to just have inside your bedroom, like spinning around. And also that's when Max was so young and I was already waking up so much to like nurse him all the time, that I was like, I cannot wake up to also the sound of my dog like spinning. I can only wake up to a human. I don't have any more bandwidth. So we were like, okay, crate for Freya in the kitchen. And we had already designed the space for her to have that crate because that's how we had always left her. If we had to go away for like 5 hours or something, she'd always, you know, been secure and safe in her crate and loved that. So we had to design the kitchen with a crate spot. And then we were like, okay, she'll try sleeping in here. Then that didn't work out, and then Lou also didn't work out having him sleep in bed with Max and I because, you know, I feel like families can really do everybody in the same bed. For us, it just didn't work out. Max and I like move around so much in sleep. There was not as much anymore, now he's older. There's so much action happening with like different wake ups and noise and all stuff. Lou wasn't getting quality sleep, and he's a little bit more of a light sleeper, and it just felt better for him to have his own sleep space. So he moved to sleeping on the ground, and he has tried a bunch of different things. He's tried sleeping in the kitchen. He's tried sleeping in a tent. He's tried sleeping on the floor here, and that's what's worked out best. But we all agree, Lou needs a bed. He needs a comfortable place to sleep. So that's when we decided, what if, let me put you here, what if there's a whole nother bed right there? Right there, do you see it? Do you see the vision? So we would have family bunk beds. I feel like it could really be wonderful. I don't know if Lou would then move to the loft, if Lou is gonna move the loft around, but that's what we're thinking. We're not sure if the bottom will be a queen or if the top will be a queen, if they'll both be king beds. We're not sure the dynamics of a lot of things, like how long we're gonna be in here, and if like I'll always be sleeping with Max, or Max and Lou are gonna be sleeping in the same bed, how it's all gonna play out. So we wanna give ourselves wiggle room. That's what we really realized as we were designing this, that as like new parents and new shipping container people living in shipping containers, we didn't totally like understand all the things that we know now, which is allowing us to think of a remodel or a renovation that would make this place so much more functional for us. But we also are like, we know that our life is still evolving, always evolving. So we want to make this place comfortable. Like, what if we end up being in here for 2 more years? Like, what will our family need then? So that's when we're like, the family bunk bed feels like it has a lot of potential for us. So it's just figuring out storage. And one spot that we could use for storage, what I'm sitting on right now, this booth or this box, this is right now just firewood storage, but we have built, since this box was created, Lou has then built in a huge outside space for firewood. So we're like, we don't really need this firewood spot if we have that firewood spot. So maybe this whole area could be storage. Yeah, a lot to figure out, but the bedroom is gonna have 2 beds. So that's like the big shift for this room. Lou's still figuring all that out. So if you have any ideas, we are all ears. Honestly, we are gonna be in these comments looking, because I think that sometimes like when you have an outside perspective looking in, you actually can think really creatively about a space, because you know, when you're so close to something, you can't always see it. Sometimes that's the case. Other times, obviously, we know what we need, but I think there can be this beautiful balance of like, yes, we know what we're like looking for, but maybe you know how we could get there, because maybe that's what I should tell you. What we're craving, 2 comfortable sleeping spaces in this room. An easy place for us to eat a meal as a family with extra people there if we want to host anything, and to not have our socks be constantly wet in the winter going in and out of all of these spaces. So those are my problems. Maybe somebody knows how to fix them. I know Lou will create solutions because he is just the best at it. And we're really excited about it. We're gonna hopefully get this done in February and March, so that when the weather turns, Lou can go full attention towards our house build, but it will give us a lot to focus on this winter, and I think it will just be really fun to revive the space and give it the energy and love that it deserves, because we're so excited to be back in the space as a family, and that part is working out so well. So overall, feeling very good, and it's really exciting thinking about the space being totally new, but I'm also cherishing it as it is, and that's kind of what this video is about too, is just making some last winter memories as a family in this exact moment, so that we remember how special this version of the containers were, because it's gonna be a whole new space very, very soon. Thank you, and
a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. We've been running our online store with Squarespace since day 1 because I really believe they are the most creative-friendly platform out there. If you want all of the advanced tools to design every single detail of a page and keep track of analytics, they've got you covered. But if you want to get something done quick that will look great, that's where Squarespace really shines. The new layout tools are drag and drop easy, so you can tinker to your heart's content. I especially like the layout previews for mobile devices, since that seems to be where internet traffic is heading these days. If you built all of your pages for desktop and haven't checked how they look on mobile yet, definitely give that a look, because it really does require its own type of design vision. Since I won't be building Shed House quite yet, my new plan is to invest a bunch of that time and energy into our website and our online store, starting with a new cookbook project we hope to complete soon. If you'd like to build your own website or online store, head to squarespace.com/wildweroam for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.